Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad Explains It All, where we're going to go over generally how to be an adult and do things around the house, save a little bit of money. Today we're going to install some in-wall speakers. Right now I've already got some installed, the wire's already run, but they're not working. I think I blew them out, so I'm going to install some better ones. They're going to be Polk. Right now I've got Bose in there. They came with the house I bought, and I really want to make sure that I get something that's going to be long-lasting, a little bit bigger than what those are. Should be a pretty easy project, so hang with me and let's figure it out together. All right, so we're going to replace our Bose speakers next to the TV. I purchased these Polk audio speakers. I'll leave a link in the description. I purchased them off of Amazon. I've got two speakers that are going to go on the outside of the TVs, and I've got one center speaker that's going to go directly over it. Kind of show you the unboxing of it. So these are the speakers that I purchased. Now you're going to notice these are going to be a little bit bigger than the speakers that I've got that are already there. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to take a drywall knife and cut the wall out a little bit, place it in. What's really nice these days is they give you this little cardboard cutout. This cardboard cutout allows you to trace around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on the wall, pencil it in, and then that's how I'm going to make my cut in order to widen it. From there, they've got these little clips on the back end of this. Now these clips will basically sit like this, and when you put it in the wall, it'll then come out so that, I don't know if you can see that, but from there it'll actually sit against the wall flush. So it's going to look like the speakers are actually inside the wall, which they are. It's kind of neat little look. I like it personally than having a bunch of speakers around the TV that are sticking out. In my opinion, it makes the lines a little bit cleaner in the family room, plus you get amazing sound from in-wall speakers. So here are the tools that I'm going to use. Sorry, my dog's making an appearance in the film. This is my dog named Kevin. He's a Doberman. Pretty chill dog. Anyways, so I've got a level to make sure that when we do cut the hole, that it's level across the wall. I have some wire cutters, a tape measure, measure twice, cut once, a screwdriver, and obviously if you've got a screw gun, it's always easier to use than just a screwdriver. And then I've got a pencil. I just find whatever I have around the house. This is an IKEA pencil that I used when we first moved in with some furniture, and then obviously the cardboard cutout they handed us. All right, so I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. I'm going to tuck my wire into the hole, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring this cutout right up here to the hole. I'm going to line mine up with the paint just because I don't want to have to repaint this, so it'll save me an extra step. So I'm going to go ahead and place it up there, make sure it looks somewhat level. I got a different level, one that's a little bit shorter. So you'll see that bubble. You're going to have to make sure that that's dead center. Once that's dead center, you're going to go ahead and take your pencil. You're going to make your outline. And this is where you're going to be cutting. Now you don't need to make it too dark. All this is a general line. Now when you make your cut, you're going to want to make it just a hair shorter than the actual cardboard. And the idea is that if you cut too much out, it's not going to fit. And you can always cut more out, but you can't put more in. So you're going to want to start just a hair under and make sure that you cut out. And if it's not big enough, you can always take out more. All right, so I've got my drywall knife. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the corner. Again, I want to go probably about, maybe an eighth of an inch in. And then I go ahead and I just kind of tap the back with the base of my hand. And that makes a real nice straight line. You're going to want to just take your time with this. You're not going to want to go too fast because if you make a mistake, you don't want to cause more trouble for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I forgot to put a drop cloth beneath me, so that'll help prevent cleaning up a bigger mess. All right, I got my drop cloth, also known as a white towel. That's all I could find right now, and I didn't want to waste any more time on it. So let's go ahead and just continue cutting. Again, you just got to make sure that you're nice and slow here. Whenever you get close to the edge, you're going to want to start another line. Make sure you don't clip your speaker wire. All right, I'm getting pretty close to the edge. I'll start a new one. There's insulation behind this, so I got to make sure that I try not to cut that as much as possible. All right, this should just sort of lift right out. All right, speaker wire is still intact. Now we're gonna go grab the speaker and see if we can place it right in. So this grille's a little bit hard to get off. It told me to use a paper clip. I don't have a paper clip, but what I'm gonna do is just use a tack pen and just kind of pry it out. Now you want to be careful, obviously, because this is where everybody's going to be able to see it. So just be careful. It's popping right out. There you go. There you go. And just like that other speaker, you've got 6 outside screws that will toggle this to make it flush up against the wall. So you'll tighten these and loosen these in order to make sure this thing sits flush in the wall. All right, so on the back of this, you'll see some of these notches are pushed out. So you're just going to flip it around. You're going to use your screwdriver. And you see how that just moves that like that. You're going to want to tuck it in so that when you place the speaker, then you're going to take your screwdriver and move it and pull it. So then this will be the drywall that'll sit right in here. That's how this tightens to that drywall. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wire up the back of this. This is very easy. You've got a red tab, you've got a black tab. I've got a red wire and a black wire. I'd flatten these out with my fingers a little bit. You can stick it in this hole right here. Once you press down on that red and then release it, press down on the black, push it in that hole, and then release it. Snug fit. Let's see if my hole is cut properly. All right, it looks like I'm a hair tight right on this little edge right here. So I'm going to go ahead and unhook this again and then just trim out this little line right here. Not a lot, because it seems like it's very, 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 very tight. So it's a nice little thread. You might even be able to do it with a sander, depending on how good you are with a cutting tool. All right, I just got done trimming the edges a little bit just to make sure this thing goes in nice and flush. Set it in. Perfect. Take the screwdriver. Tighten them up. Make sure it's nice and tight. Obviously, you don't want it to rattle when it starts going. Want to make sure that there you go, that's connecting with the wall. I'm loosening these up first because I want to make sure that it's got its best chance to hook onto that wall. So if you loosen it, it gets it all the way off the wall. That way when you're tightening it, you can feel that screw get much tighter, which means it's pinching that drywall. There you go. All right. So we'll snap the screen back into place. Now these are paintable if it's something you're interested in doing. Mine actually matches my wall pretty good, so overall I'm pretty happy with it. But if you wanted to, you could paint that. But there's one of the speakers. I'll kind of back it up a little bit so you guys can see. You can see the difference in size to the one that's on top. The ones on the side. Looks pretty sharp, and that was a pretty easy job. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them, and I'll keep you along with the ride. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I won't walk you through the whole thing, but I'll let you watch me do it. This one should go a whole lot easier. You notice I have tape on this end. This is when I was troubleshooting, making sure the speakers were blown rather than the wires being messed up. So for this, I already determined that the wires were messed up. So that's why you got some blue tape on there so I can make sure I could find it again. So I'm going to use the same board. I'm going to use the same board. Make sure that I line up here with the paint job. Now this should be level just because I'm using the previous one. It's level that way, so that checks out. Go ahead and make my marks. I want to make sure I'm not hitting that stud. That stud's on this side right here, so I'm going to cut this way. It's also going to be completely symmetrical. Be good. I'm again about 1/8 of an inch. Because I can always cut more, but I can't add more. Pull the wires out of the way so I don't unintentionally cut them. Don't want that falling back behind the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this line a little bit. All right, now that I got it cut, I'm going to remove the tape so that I can wire up the speakers and put it in. Black goes to black, red goes to red. Upside down. Speed this up a little bit, use my gun. Make sure I tighten it down by hand. Pop on the grill. Should be good to go. Now on this, I'm actually going to use the center of it this time in order to make my mark. And the reason I want to use the center is because I want this to be equal distance right to left. So I want it to be symmetrical on the wall. So this hole is going to line up with the screw at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that that's level. Grab my pencil. I'm going to double check my line is straight. Again, I want to measure twice and cut once. Last thing in the world I want to do is make this cut and it's not level and it's going to look like crap when I hang it. Okay, look good. So I want to make sure that when I'm cutting, I don't go too far. For whatever reason, there's not insulation behind this wall. So I don't want to go through the other wall. So I'm being very careful to not hit this too far in, because the last thing I want to do is have to patch the wall behind. So I've run into a stud, which means I'm going to have to notch it out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to start So right now I'm just notching out this stud right here. All right, let's try this again. All right, the last step is to put on the screen. This one's a little bit different of a screen. It's actually magnetic. So a little bit easier. Kind of have to find the right slot. There you go. That wraps it up for Dad Explains It All. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments below. Hope you guys have a great day. See ya.